This was a historic week for Republicans. For most of the last decades, Democrats have owned the health care debate in Congress, but for the first time, House Republicans have passed a credible alternative to Obamacare. Tell us what's in it and where it might lead in phase 2 and 3.
Well, thank you, John. Republicans are taking the lead in trying to reverse the damage done by Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. We've seen, even though it was promised that premiums would go down and health care would be more affordable after they passed the Affordable Care Act, we call it unaffordable because that's exactly what's happened. Premiums have continued to go up, forcing the Democrats to enact, with no Republican votes, these Obamacare subsidies to prop up a failing program. So now Republicans have put forward a health care bill, which just passed the House, which includes cost share reductions, which will reduce premiums, it's estimated, by 12% in the upcoming year. We have PBM transparency in this legislation, as well as associated health plans, which should allow for small businesses to form their own groups and thereby reduce overall healthcare costs. So we're on the right track. This is a great first step, but we're not done yet. We're going to be working after the first of the year on real reforms that will drive down costs and help to right-size this just tremendous problems that Obamacare has caused. The most frustrating thing on the Hill is for Democrats to say that Republicans broke health care. We never voted for any of this. Not a single Republican ever voted for the health care situation that we're in today, but we are working very hard to fix it, and I'm certain that this is a great first step toward those efforts.
Congresswoman, Obamacare turned out to be extremely expensive, evidenced by these subsidies that had to be put in place to keep the cost from being deferred to the American people and the taxpayers. When it comes to this, the figure that you laid out, 12% reduction in premiums, that is great for the American people. Does it add to that cost or does it take away from it, the cost of Obamacare?
Well, there's always a cost to everything. I think this is as cost neutral as we could possibly be. But think about this. Obamacare subsidies and Obamacare has cost the American taxpayer more than $1.3 trillion. Just since it passed in 2014 to 2023, that cost went from $18 billion a year to $92 billion a year. We cannot afford to stay on this path. It's projected to cost even more. So what the Democrats did was they passed Obamacare. It was not affordable, so they subsidized the insurance companies to lower premiums. During COVID, they enhanced those subsidies and expanded them, and now they want us to make that permanent or extend it for 3 years, when all that's doing is putting a Band-Aid on this problem and not actually reducing costs. The American people never see a dime of that money. It goes directly to insurance companies who are seeing record profits right now.
Yeah, it was basically corporate welfare disguised as health care. Congresswoman, I want to ask about something the president hinted at last night, because I have a funny feeling it may be in the next phase of this rebuilding of the healthcare system. He said, I'd like the money not to go to the insurers, but to the American people. Is there some discussion about a tax credit or a cash insertion into a health savings account as an alternative to Obamacare? Give the money to the people, let them decide how to do it, and get them on a path to saving in the future for their healthcare costs?
Absolutely. I would certainly personally rather see these funds go directly to health savings accounts. But there is one caveat that I've been pushing, and that is to restore underwriting in the private market so those plans are available. If we only have the exchange to choose from, we can give money to health savings accounts, which will help Americans, but it's not necessarily going to drive down the cost. What I think about is it's like when we fund college, no matter what colleges decide to charge, nothing is going to drive down the cost of college. So that's kind of the situation that we're in with healthcare. And unless we open up underwriting on the private market, increase competition, we are only throwing more money at the problem, even though it is going directly to the American people, which is preferable but not ideal.
Yeah, great point.
Congresswoman, with regards to those health savings accounts, I actually had one of our viewers message me on social media. I think she said she was 29 years old, perfectly healthy, no health problems, no chronic issues whatsoever. And she went on the ACA exchange to try to get health care, and it was an obscene amount for her, just her, every month, a very healthy individual. Would these health savings accounts be available to people who have been priced out of ACA?
I would love to see health savings accounts be widely available to anyone that wants to use them toward any purpose toward their health care, and put patients and the American people back in charge of their health care, and get middlemen like PBMs and managed care really out of the system, so it's truly between a doctor and a patient. But one of the things that we are certainly concerned about is, for example, when I was a young mom, I had my health care through my employer. It was very costly to add my newborn daughter and my husband. We were able to go on the private market and get a plan underwritten for just my husband and daughter, saving us about $500 a month at the time. That's no longer available under Obamacare. We have to revive that marketplace if we're going to give Americans true relief, and that's something that we are certainly pushing for here in Washington.
Two things that people have been mentioning. I want to see if they're on the radar for House Republicans now. One is restoring catastrophic health insurance, so that if you don't want to pay for every little thing, you're willing to pay for it out of your pocket because you're healthy. You just want to be protected for big events. Is that something that you could revive? And then secondly, there are these cartels where insurance companies that have a better plan can't get into a state because the state doesn't let them in. Is there some discussion about opening up the state healthcare markets so that there's competition nationwide to drive down the best price?
Yes, and those conversations, as you know, have been ongoing since 2014 in the passage of Obamacare, but they are still ongoing today. And I hope with Republican leadership that we will get competition across state lines. We will get catastrophic plans back. We will get the underwriting. We will actually have true PBM reform, because this vertical integration between insurance companies, PBMs, and pharmacies is driving up the cost of health care. Those are just a couple of examples. We have a lot to do in the upcoming year, but what I want the American people to understand is House and Senate Republicans are working together with the president to lower health care costs and finally turning us away from this socialized system of healthcare that has done nothing to reduce costs and only resulted in increases and worse outcomes.
Absolutely. Congresswoman, I want to ask you about something else that I know is near and dear to your heart. We are in this AI race, and we are trying to strike a balance between protecting the American people, especially children, and also allowing this technology to advance for productivity. But when it comes to children and these chatbot companions, it's just absolutely grotesque what is happening here. Tell us about the AWARE Act.
Sure. The AWARE Act, excuse me, and the SafeBots Act, those are two bills that work in tandem to help try to protect kids online from AI chatbots. We should never have a child interacting with a chatbot that pretends to be a companion, a friend, a therapist, a doctor. So we're trying to put safeguards in place, one, to make sure there's awareness among parents and families and kids of the dangers of chatbots and what to look for in a dangerous chatbot. But then in addition to that, the SafeBots Act requires these platforms to put in fail-safes. If a child is talking about something dangerous or self-harm, we want them to be directed to either a real person or resources to prevent suicide. We also want reminders every hour that this is not a real person that you're talking to. I am not a therapist. I'm not a friend. I'm a computer, essentially, and I'm an AI. We do think that these are great first steps, but we have lots of work to do. I co-chair the Kids Online Safety Caucus with Democrat Jake Auchincloss from Massachusetts. He's been a great partner on these efforts, really to try to protect kids under 16 from not just the chatbots, from all the harms online that have resulted in, 13, 14, 15-year-olds causing self-harm or engaging in dangerous behavior.
It's a pretty historic time in Congress. You're tackling issues that have long been ignored or delayed, and it's an exciting thing to see. Congresswoman, great to have you on the show today. We wish you an early Merry Christmas. Thanks for being with us.
Merry Christmas to you, too. Thank you guys so much.